All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're going to take some timeless wisdom from the ancient Stoics and use it to tackle a super modern problem: manipulative people. Yeah, we're going to break down 10 key signs to look for so you can start protecting your energy and, most importantly, your peace of mind. You know the feeling, right? You've been around someone and just their presence alone completely drains you. You walk away from a conversation just feeling exhausted, confused, maybe even second guessing yourself. It's a weird feeling. And the thing is, these people don't come with a warning label. Their damage is subtle, it's insidious, and that's exactly why we need to learn how to spot it. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about this hidden threat. Then we'll get into the art of deception, how they pull the wool over your eyes. After that, we'll look at the game of control, followed by what's really going on inside them, which we're calling the hollow core. And finally, the most important part, building your shield of awareness. So, the hidden threat. It's interesting. When the Stoics talked about evil, they weren't talking about some kind of movie villain, not at all. They were talking about the everyday harmful behaviors that just chip away at our well-being. These are the sneaky, subtle patterns we can actually learn to recognize in people who take advantage of kindness for their own selfish reasons. All right, part one, the art of deception. This is where we start getting into the nitty-gritty. We're going to look at the first few signs, and they're all about the clever, sneaky ways these individuals hide what they're really after. So sign number one is what I like to call a mask of charm. You know that person who is just so charming, it almost feels a little off? Like it's a little too perfect, almost like they're reading from a script. Well, that's a classic tool in the manipulator's playbook. They use that over-the-top charm to get your guard down, make you feel like the most important person in the world, and build this foundation of trust that isn't real. And here's the key difference, right? Genuine charm is all about creating a real connection. It's warm, it's authentic. But manipulative charm, that's a performance. It's hollow. I actually had a friend like this once. He could turn on the charm and make you feel like a superstar. But, and this is the kicker, as soon as you weren't useful to him anymore, poof, he was gone. He'd even start talking badly about you. That charm was never about you. It was always about what he could get from you. Which brings us to this incredible quote from Marcus Aurelius: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This is so perfect here. It's a reminder to look past the shiny, dazzling performance. A person's real character, their soul, it's not in the fancy words they use. It's in their actions, day in and day out. It's about consistency. Okay, sign number two, lies without conscience. This is a big one. For these folks, truth isn't some noble thing to strive for. Nope, it's just an obstacle. And we're not talking about little white lies here. We're talking about them weaving these elaborate, complicated stories just to get what they want, to dodge blame, or even to make you question your own reality. For them, lying is just as natural as breathing. And that brings us to sign number three, which is so sneaky and toxic: jealousy in disguise. So instead of being happy for you when you succeed, they'll wrap up their envy in something that sounds like concern. I had a friend do this to me once. I finished this project I was super proud of, and they said, "Oh, that's great, but, maybe next time you should push yourself a bit more." See what they did there? It sounds like they're helping, but what they're really doing is planting this little seed of doubt to make my accomplishment feel smaller. So you can see how deception is really their go-to move. Now let's shift gears a bit. Let's move into part two and see how they take that deception and use it in the game of control. This next batch of signs is all about their bottomless need to have power over other people. And that brings us right to sign number four, this constant gnawing hunger for control. For them, it's like oxygen. They absolutely need to be in the driver's seat of your thoughts, your choices. I once worked with a guy who acted like he was my biggest supporter, always offering help. But behind the scenes, he was totally undermining my work to our boss. He wasn't trying to help me get better. He was trying to break down my confidence so I'd have to rely on him. It's all about dependency. And this is exactly why the Stoics were so big on self-mastery. Epictetus said it best: "No man is free who is not master of himself." Real freedom, it comes from inside you. So when you start to see this stuff and push back against it, you're not just defending yourself, you're actually taking back your own personal freedom. It's a powerful act. Now, sign number five is a really calculated, strategic move. It's using isolation as a weapon. Think about it. To make you easier to control, what's the first thing they do? They try to cut you off from your support system, your friends, your family, basically anyone who might give you a reality check and say, hey, this doesn't seem right. And they have a system for it. It's wild. First, they'll just plant little seeds of doubt about the people you love. Then they start to actively discredit them. You'll hear things like, your family just doesn't get you, not like I do. And before you even realize what's happening, they've maneuvered themselves into being the only person you feel you can trust. And boom, you're dependent. Okay, this brings us to our last section, part 3, the hollow core. And I've got to be honest, this is probably the most disturbing group of signs because these traits, they point to something that's just fundamentally missing inside a person. It's like a lack of basic humanity. And that brings us to sign number 6, a truly chilling lack of empathy. Empathy is what connects us as human beings, right? It's that bridge between us. Well, for a manipulative person, other people aren't really people. They're just pieces on a chessboard. They have this scary ability to be completely indifferent to someone else's pain, unless, of course, they can figure out a way to use that pain for their own benefit. And this comparison just lays it all out. A normal, empathetic person, you tell them you're struggling, they listen, they offer support. The manipulator, you pour your heart out and they immediately turn it around. Oh, you think that's bad? Let me tell you about my day. Your feelings, your vulnerability, it just gets completely dismissed. Because in their world, your experiences only matter if they can be tied back to them. Following right on the heels of that is sign number 7, and this one is genuinely creepy. They actually take pleasure in other people's pain. I mean, it's bad enough to not care when someone is hurting, but to actively enjoy it, that's a whole other level. I'll never forget seeing a person literally chuckle to themselves when a colleague got called out in a meeting. That little smirk said everything. It's all about their own insecurity. They get a little boost by seeing someone else get knocked down. Now, these next 2 signs are totally connected. Sign number 8 is the constant blame game. Nothing is ever their fault, ever. There's always someone else to point the finger at. And that leads us right into sign number 9, the unrepentant heart. Since nothing is ever their fault, they never have to say they're sorry. To them, admitting a mistake is a sign of weakness. So forget about them reflecting, apologizing, or God forbid, actually changing their behavior. It's not going to happen. So, wow, after hearing all that, the big question is, what do we actually do about it? Well, that brings us to the conclusion. And I want to be really clear. The point of all this isn't to make you scared or paranoid of everyone you meet. No, the point is to empower you. It's all about building what we're calling your shield of awareness. Because here's the absolute biggest takeaway. Awareness is your most powerful weapon. These manipulation tactics, they only really work in the dark when you don't see what's happening. The second you can put a name to their game, oh, that's the fake charm, or aha, there's the blame game again. It's like flipping on a light switch. They lose all their power over you. Just seeing it for what it is becomes your best protection. So what's in your Stoic toolkit? Here are the essentials. First, set rock-solid boundaries. Second, trust your own eyes. Trust their actions, not their words. Always, always protect your inner peace like it's a fortress. Surround yourself with people who actually lift you up, not tear you down. And maybe the most important one, you don't need to get into a fight with them. You don't have to win the argument. A lot of the time, the strongest and smartest thing you can do is just walk away, just disengage. Let's wrap this up with a powerhouse idea paraphrased from Marcus Aurelius. True strength lies in mastering your mind and your reactions. Listen, you're not going to change these people. You can't fix them. It's not your job. But what you can do, what you have 100% control over, is your own mind and how you choose to react. That is where your real power is. That's true freedom. So I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Just take a minute and think about the people in your life. Who are the ones that elevate you? Who genuinely cheers you on and wants to see you shine? And who drains you? Who, whether they mean to or not, just kind of dims your light? The answer to that question, well, that's your compass. That's your guide to protecting your peace.